The cafeteria buzzed with the usual chaos of laughter, chatter, and the clatter of trays. But in the far corner, a girl sat by herself, her small plate holding nothing more than a few fries. She ate slowly, her shoulders hunched, eyes fixed on the tray as if she could disappear if she stayed quiet enough. It was her first week at Jefferson High, and already, the loneliness wrapped around her like a heavy cloak. A group of boys nearby noticed her, 3 loud, cocky seniors who thrived on attention. They whispered, snickered, and finally broke into cruel laughter. "Look at her, fries for lunch. What is she, broke or just pathetic?" one of them mocked loudly enough for the entire cafeteria to hear. The laughter spread like wildfire, filling the air with sharp, cutting sounds. The girl's face burned crimson, her throat tightening as tears threatened to spill. She kept her head down, praying it would stop. But it didn't. The boys moved closer, circling her table like predators. One leaned over her shoulder, fake snickering, "Want us to buy you a burger? Or maybe you only eat scraps." Another flicked one of her fries off her tray onto the floor. Students watched, some amused, some uncomfortable, but no one moved to help. What happened next stunned everyone. Before the boys could push further, a voice cut through the cafeteria, "That's enough." Heads turned. It was Ethan, the school's quietest honor student. He wasn't an athlete, not the loud type, not someone anyone expected to stand up. He walked steadily toward the table, his jaw tight, eyes blazing with determination. The bullies sneered. "What are you gonna do, nerd? Quote us a math problem." The cafeteria erupted in chuckles. But Ethan didn't flinch. Instead, he stepped between the boys and the girl, planting himself like a shield. "You think humiliating someone makes you strong," he said, his voice shaking but loud enough to echo. "It makes you weak. Pathetic. Everyone sees it. You're not funny, you're just bullies." The room went silent. The bullies, caught off guard by his defiance, tried to laugh it off, but the silence weighed heavy. And then, another surprise. Sarah, the soccer team captain, stood up from her table across the room. "He's right," she called out. "You think this is cool? It's disgusting." One by one, students began murmuring, standing, glaring at the boys instead of the girl. What had been laughter minutes ago turned into glares of judgment and disapproval. The bullies shifted uncomfortably, their cocky smiles faltering as they realized the cafeteria had turned against them. The principal, alerted by the commotion, entered just in time to see the scene. Witnesses quickly explained what happened, and the 3 boys were escorted out in shame, their laughter silenced. For the girl, her name was Amelia, tears finally spilled, but not from humiliation this time. Ethan gently picked up her tray, set it back, and sat across from her. "Don't let them define you," he said softly. The cafeteria was alive with noise, students laughing, tables filled with chatter, the smell of pizza and fries floating in the air. It was Friday, the busiest day, when everyone seemed to have their groups, their friends, their belonging. But in the far corner, away from the laughter, sat a girl no one seemed to notice. Amelia. A brand new transfer student. Her tray held only a small red carton of fries. She wasn't broke, though many assumed so. The truth was quieter, more painful, she had no appetite. Anxiety tightened her stomach each day, and the fries were just an excuse to sit down, to not look completely out of place. Her eyes stayed low, fixed on the tray, while her ears picked up every burst of laughter around her. She wished she could disappear into the cracks of the floor. That's when they noticed her. 3 boys. Seniors. Loud. The kind of boys who moved through the school like they owned it. They didn't need reasons to pick targets. They only needed opportunities. And Amelia sitting there alone, with nothing but fries, was the perfect one. "Check it out," one of them whispered, elbowing the other. "Princess lunch over there. Gourmet meal of fries." The second boy chuckled, loud enough for Amelia to hear. "Maybe she's on a strict diet. Fries for breakfast, lunch, and dinner." The third leaned back in his chair, smirking. "Or maybe that's all she can afford." He didn't whisper. He projected, his voice carrying across the cafeteria. Heads turned. Students snickered. Amelia froze. Heat rushed to her face, her throat tightening. She wanted to stand, to run, but her legs felt anchored to the ground. The boys rose from their seats, their voices growing louder, bolder with every step they took toward her. "Hey, new girl," one shouted. "Want us to chip in for a burger? You look starving." Another reached over her tray, plucked a fry, and tossed it on the floor. "Oops. Guess you dropped it." The cafeteria erupted in laughter. Her hands trembled as she pulled her tray closer. All she wanted was to vanish. To be invisible. But the harder she tried, the more visible she became. And then, it happened. A chair scraped across the floor. The sound was sharp, startling. A boy from across the room stood up. Ethan. Everyone knew him. Not for sports. Not for being loud. Ethan was the quiet one. The honor student. The boy who spent more time in the library than anywhere else. He wasn't the kind of guy anyone expected to step into conflict. But there he was. He walked with steady steps, his eyes locked on the bullies. He didn't hesitate. He didn't waver. He stopped right at Amelia's table and turned to face them. "That's enough." The cafeteria went quiet. The bullies smirked, circling him. "Or what?" one asked, leaning forward. "What are you gonna do, nerd? Solve us with algebra?" Laughter rippled again, but it was weaker this time. Ethan didn't flinch. His hands were trembling, yes, but his voice was strong. "You think humiliating Sumio